Hey everyone, it's going to be another fairly quick article, fairly quick video. We're going to cover the topic of this article, but yeah, I don't have to delve into it too far for you to, like I say, if you're paying attention to my past videos, you know the stance I'm already going to take on this. And this is an opinion piece in the CBC News regarding renaming Ryerson University. It's not about our history. It's about removing the name of a man who was integral to one of the most shameful aspects of our past. Now, I've even made videos. And it's not just that Egerson's Ryerson, that brought the central planning model to the school system to teach obedience to authority and conformity. I'm totally against this fucking guy too, right? Because yes, that collective delusion, that collective mentality, that particular kind of religious conceptual way of how you, or cult-like actually, way you raise and educate people. I'm completely against it because I've seen how detrimental it has been to the population of not just Canada, but a lot of Western countries. But what I would never say, what I would never suggest is that we got to remove that from the pages of history. These people that put forth this narrative, that you got to remove this from anything that like people see, like a statue or literature or books. Once you get into that burning books or removing anything that has to do with the past, whether it was painful or not, then what are you going to be able to, this is the contradictory part too. Well, what are you going to point to? Let me point out the hypocrisy and the stupidity in this kind of article. They're using the fact that this person did some pretty devious things in the history. They're using that history as the pretense to point out how bad it was, but yet they want to remove that history. Well, what are you going to point to in the future? You remove that history, what are you going to point to in the future? Say, this is what happens, right? When you allow this kind of central planning and authority to take place, take hold in your communities or in your population at large. What are you going to do then? You're going to try to remove that history just because, it's causing a little pain or triggering some people. Well, once you remove that history, what the fuck what evidence are you going to offer to the people? Say, don't repeat that history. You're shooting yourself in the foot for short-term gain, and it's going to create a massive amount of long-term pain. Just like down in the States, they want to remove some of these, like the Confederate flag. Hey, put forth your narrative and dialogue. Give great explanations. Give proper information to people and say, hey, this might, whether you agree with it or not. And other people may or may not agree with you. But if you at least can point to some historical wrongs that have happened, you can always at least give people evidence. Don't repeat those mistakes, right? Just like, what if we got rid of National Socialism as a pretense of the history of how that stuff has affected so many societies and has caused the demise of millions of people and the pain, death, and devastation that was a consequence of communism, socialism, fascism. If we removed all from history, don't you think it would repeat itself? Because people wouldn't understand, we don't want to do that again. Once you remove that from history, you're actually causing even more hardships to yourself and future successive generations because they won't understand. They'll be easily duped into falling for this same kind of bullshit if you remove it from history. If you can't point to incidents and say, don't do this, don't repeat this. If you remove it all, well, what are they going to believe then? Don't do what? I don't know what the hell you're fucking talking about. You might talk about how bad it was, but where's the historic examples? You've removed them from the minds of the people, from the literature, from the history books. Once you've done that, once you start with a clean slate, authoritarians love starting with a clean slate because they don't got no baggage you got to carry around with them, right? Be wise. It's Canadian Libertarian, and I love liberty.